Three, two, one. This is Radio Free Cybertron, episode 707. I am Brian Kilby. It's the last episode of 2020. By God, thank you. Go away, 2020. We don't want you here anymore. No, we don't. So, yeah. No. Hey, I'm Brian Kilby. That's Rob's here, Diecast, Matt, XV, Don, and John was here. Is John here?
John's here.
John's here.
I changed the layout of the screen so I don't actually see everybody it's on anymore. So, go away, 2020. We don't want you anymore. I'm actually really, really happy that this year is over. How about you guys?
You really think 2021 is going to be any different?
No.
Yeah, I'm not putting my hopes on anything.
No.
Yeah, no. Well,
I just saw at least.
Yeah, I just saw something that'll make y'all smile. I just had an ad pop up in another window that's describing
Turn
Golden
off,
Girl.
Ron.
No.
Yeah, I'm glad.
No,
I'm
no,
glad the audio is muted.
Yeah, it's Golden Girl action figures available, and it's a picture of Harley Quinn. So I don't think that's right.
Why did I bid on Nerfles anyway? Okay, sorry. Pre-show. Join Patreon. Patreon.com/TFRadio.
Also, subscribe to us on YouTube, and you'll get notified when we actually go live with the pre-show. If you want to see it, if you want to see the chaos while it's happening, and come hop in the Discord at tfradio.net/Discord, and just give us your commentary or via text, facepalm at Brian.
Yeah,
or non or diecast, whatever.
But podcast version is exclusive to Patreon. Yes. Also, we have our weekly History on the Fives podcast. This coming week, we're starting 2021, which means we're looking back on years ending with 1 and 6. And I really enjoy doing that, especially with the folks that have been on it as of late. If you're a patron at the touch tier, hit me up and let me know, and we'll add you. If you want to be on, we're just going to add all the touched patrons. We're not going to rotate. We're going to have the biggest podcast ever. Bob, I think, is calling it a parallel RFC or something like that. But I really like the dynamic, and we learned last night in the recording that Joey and Sean live 20 minutes from each other. We learned that on the show, so that's pretty cool. So that was fun. Patreon.com/TFRadio. Also, it's the end of the month, so that's when people get their accounts declined and stuff, and it's always great. You lose patrons at the end of the month, so if you want to hop on now, that would be wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's see here. What else is going on? We're going to have our look back at 2020 next week. I'm voting for doing it live and just having...
I think you've been outvoted.
Okay. Sunday? You want to record Sunday?
I can probably do that.
Okay, we'll find time Sunday to record. And I would actually
and then Brian will just secretly stream it live.
Yeah, I would still like to do sort of a live stream next week, just to have people around, maybe do an RFC extra or something. You guys good with that?
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, we can do something.
We'll figure out something. What will happen then?
We've been talking about doing, at least for the patrons, the Ask the Toy Detectives thing as a live stream.
Okay.
We might think about working that in there, too.
Okay, let's do that. Let's just say this. So next week at Wednesday, Wednesday, January 7th? 6th, we will do a live stream. It'll be for patrons only. It'll be at patreon.com/TFRadio. So if you want to join up, we'll have a live stream then. But RFC 708, which will be our year in review, it'll be just like every other year that we do it. It'll post on Wednesday, like normal show time. It'll post as a podcast and video and everything all at once. So, but we will have a live stream on our Patreon. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, we'll do some fun stuff.
And you'll be able to chat along on our Discord as well, because we have a patron chat there. So
definitely, go sign up for the Patreon this week so you don't miss that.
Yeah. So I actually am really looking forward to the year in review. I think this is the first year I actually am, because less stuff.
And yet we've done it for 10 years.
Yeah, less stuff happened in 2020, so it should be a shorter show.
Yes.
Yeah. So, no conventions. Let's see here. In person.
Just sounds sad when you say it that way.
Yeah.
Yes, that's not depressing at all.
Hopefully conventions will return in 2021. So there are virtual conventions I think TFCon did one. There's one coming up in January, Iacon Online. And we toyed with the idea of doing one ourselves. Heck, we toyed with the idea of doing one ourselves a couple years ago, even before this COVID thing happened. But I don't know, it didn't really fit or feel right, because it's just a live stream, which we do every week. So what's different about it? But I really do like the idea of those conventions, but I cannot wait for real conventions to come back.
Yes, I want to go somewhere and be around people who share my interests.
Yeah. Like something we should at least consider. We're not going to have Toy Fair on the usual Toy Fair weekend this year. Maybe we should replace that with some kind of virtual RFC con experience.
Okay, okay, it's the date's been claimed, so you can't call.
We should still send Diecast to New York, though.
Yeah.
Just walk around the city.
Check
in with me every once in a while.
The guys who've been around for a while know that I used to be super paranoid. Like when we'd come up with an idea or something, we don't talk about it because we don't want somebody to steal it. Because, you've been around long enough, ideas that you come up with find their way other places. But Chris mentioned it publicly, so we're claiming that date. You can't copy us. It's been claimed.
We also make no guarantee that this is actually going to happen.
We don't know.
When that time rolled around.
Hasbro will probably have some form of live stream set up to replace.
If Hasbro doesn't have a live stream, we'll do something.
They won't have it on
Ness is stealing RFC Con. No.
On that specific day. They'll have some kind of something probably that week or within a 2-week stretch on either side of that.
It'd be awesome if they'd ship out Kingdom Wave 2 to certain Transformers collectors.
The only reason that happened normally the representatives that go to New York Comic-Con on invitation get to play with that stuff, and last year got to keep all the stuff they were shown. Like, that's the only reason that happened with the Kingdom Wave 1 stuff. This time it wouldn't happen.
Am I the only one getting a delay from Chris? That was weird. Okay.
Delay I have not had. I had there was a little bit of cut out there for a second, but no delay.
Yeah, it cut out and he came back. So people listening to the podcast will hear that. So you're not crazy. I heard it too.
No, you're crazy.
Okay.
Chris's internet is still recovering from exploding. So.
Blade of grass.
It's been surprisingly stable since it came back Sunday afternoon.
Huh.
It's the best feeling to get internet back.
I know. I used up like 500 megabytes on my phone's data plan.
Oh, that sucks.
Arg.
And that was with rationing.
Yeah. So let's see here. Anything else? Not a lot really to talk about news-wise. In fact, one item is from like 1995, but it's the coolest thing.
Yeah, it really is.
So basically, I guess an auction last year for some McDonald's documentation went up, and was it a Transformers collector or a general toy collector got it?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but basically the long and the short of it is Allspark got samples or the Transformers section from this, and
I think the person who got this posted it to their Instagram account.
Oh, well, Allspark mirrored it.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. There's design sheets. And John, this is really your bag. This is the stuff you collect.
John, why didn't you get
it? Why didn't you get it? And two, do you want to tell us about it?
I can't tell you about it because I didn't read the article in depth.
Okay.
I do have some interesting observations which you'll probably come up with, but I guess I have the wrong saved searches, guys. I need to tweak them.
So this popped up all over Twitter. I honestly, I thought I learned it from you. I learned it by watching you. Good. So thank you. It took me a second to catch on to that one. But yeah, so basically it's a lot of design sheets for Beast Wars, which it wasn't called Beast Wars. It was called Transformers. Yeah, they hadn't come up with the Beast Wars name. But it's just simple designs for characters, and I'll just run through them. Megatron, the Crocodile, Buzzsaw, Scorpion, is it a Scorponok? Bat, Optimus Prime, Prowl, who's what is he, a wolf?
Cheetor. Prowl is Cheetor.
Prowl is a panther.
God, he looks like a wolf to me.
I'm reading the designs. The snapping turtle transforms to Buzzsaw. Scorpion transforms to Shockwave. Bat transforms to Optimus Prime. Panther transforms to Prowl. And Lion transforms to Optimus Prime. So why do they have two Optimus Prime? Different.
There's like 3 Megatrons too.
Yeah, but we had that though. We had the crocodile Megatron and dinosaur, then the Optimus Primal Bat. So it's interesting. The Optimus Primal doesn't really look anything, maybe a little bit like Lio Convoy, but the lion head's the chest.
It's not supposed to. I mean,
no. But I'm just saying that Lio Convoy could have used design cues from this when they designed him. So
it's worth mentioning that what does use design cues from that Optimus Prime design is Under 3.
Exactly. So
yeah,
Under 3. They go through like this transformation and discussion of what the toys are. So Under 3 originally, there was a version that was Optimus Prime's head, and it unfolds into an Optimus Prime, not unlike the RPM toys, little cars that you just, like the Hot Wheels that you pick up. So basically it's Under 3. You just unfold him. But they also have, if I'm not wrong, a different version of it in here. That's the lion. Yeah, the lion head.
Yeah.
And you open it up and you see Optimus Prime. So this is just chock full of neat things. Again, the toy line was called Transformers. It used the just the logo from G2 without saying G2.
They were probably still workshopping what the new subline name would be.
Yeah. So this is just a lot of neat stuff. I love seeing things like this.
Yeah, one thing that I like is the Manta Ray Optimus.
Oh,
because he's got the little like rebreather mask molded in. Well, I mean, it's in the art, so it would have been molded in.
I didn't notice. I just saw the Manta Ray, and I didn't look that closely at it. You are absolutely right. It's Optimus Prime with scuba gear.
Yeah, so like it looks like a lot of what they had in mind for the Happy Meal promotion that would have been just multiple versions of Megatron and Optimus, and maybe like 2 other characters, like maybe the Prowl and Scorponok or Buzzsaw.
Yeah, the Manta Ray Optimus Prime is listed as an auto roller. Funny enough. The Sea Turtle Megatron, which I love, is also an auto roller. God, there's a lot of Megatrons.
and there was non-auto roller versions of those too. There's a lot of like interesting development stuff in here that made it seem like there was going to be a fair bit of character repetition in terms of different kinds of toys, not unlike what we have now with lines like Cyberverse.
I guess because I started collecting seriously during Beast Wars, I have tons of nostalgia for this. And yeah, I see this, and this just, I don't know, it scratches some itch deep in my brain that I didn't know was there.
Yeah, so like I'm gonna agree with Blade Raider, his comment in our Discord. Like, one of the most interesting things about this is it showing that the toy that's obviously the same base design as what we ended up getting as Cheetor was originally Prowl, the Panther.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, a lot of that makes a lot more sense because it's not built as a cheetah remotely. It's just like a generic big cat body design that they put cheetah deco onto and made a different character. But, like, it makes so much more sense as Prowl, especially like the robot head detailing.
Yeah. I think it's interesting that they were calling the Decepticons Predacons, but the Autobots were Cyber Beasts.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, you can tell like this was still early enough where they were running ideas for what the specific branding was going to be through processes. Predacons is something they originally had or already had available to them, and so they could just apply that and hold on to the trademark. But there wasn't an analogous thing for the Autobots, so they just kind of had to roll with what they had. Cyber Beast is generic enough that like if they ended up having to use that, it probably wouldn't be that big of a deal to like secure a hold on that. But it's also generic enough where like if they come up with something better, it's not any loss to like abandon cyber beasts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Captain Rufus like Prowl was an owl though. You're darn right.
Well, eventually, yeah.
Yeah. That was, I think, Captain Rufus and I mean, Chris, you were there too, but that was like my heyday for all toys Transformers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, like a fairly early memory I have is Jenny and Graham reporting finding the color variants for Transmetal 2 Dinobot and Transmetal 2 Prowl, and nobody quite understanding why those existed or what the deal was with them. Because remember, Dinobot originally came in like the beigier color and then was released again in the bone white.
Yeah,
and Transmetal 2 Prowl came out in the much darker deco overall.
For a second, I was thinking that was the Hasbro Employee Store toys, but that was something.
No, that was Green Ramulus.
Yeah.
Oh, we're so old.
How much does that go for
Well,
now?
Megatron looks like Waspinator. That's great.
What?
What? Megatron looks like Waspinator in one of the
the
colored...
Dragonfly one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the one that's obviously the Happy Meal version, where it's just like they don't even try to disguise the extra set of limbs from the bug mode. Megatron just has 4 arms as a robot.
Mm-hmm. And then I also like the Optimus Prime head because it looks like Optimus Prime was the first flip phone.
Yeah.
I like this alternate history you're proposing. No, like this is a really cool thing to me because Beast Wars was my first serious collecting stage, and finding
Oh my god, $7,200
for Ramulus.
Yeah.
I mean, there was so few of those.
Oh my god, $7,200. Ah.
Okay, yeah, so during the run of Transmetals, I mean, Transmetals itself, Optimus and Megatron had color variants which probably weren't intentional. And then for Transmetals 2, they did color variants that were intentional, and Prowl and Dinobot were 2 of the known ones. Ramulus was a 3rd. The original Ramulus that came out at retail was like a reddish pink chrome color. The one that only surfaced through the Hasbro Employee Store was green chrome. And that was basically a production test run of that, and they just decided to not go forward with that as a running change in the line. So there's only a handful of units of that known to exist.
It said 5.
Yeah, I can't corroborate or deny that because I don't know or remember a specific number that was ever cited, but I was thinking probably like 10, so I wouldn't be surprised. But that's basically the context for people who are wondering, like, why is there a $7,200 Ramulus, and what's a Ramulus?
Yeah.
No, I love this this document find, whatever you want to call it. I like this because it's totally new information to us of something from so long ago, and like getting these kind of new details uncovered is the coolest thing when you've been around so long that you know like almost everything there is to know about a given area, or so it seems.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just sharing out that Ramulus link. Oh my god, that's awesome. Okay, that makes my day. Okay, cool. Anything else about this? Okay.
Nothing comes to mind.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about this very long. Very brief. I will say this. tfradio.net, the RFC Transformers News Update, episode 126. I posted my Brian Kilby's review of Earthrise. Again, thanks to Netflix for giving us access early to watch. Read my comments. I've been seeing feedback from people all day who are watching it, and it's mixed, just like I expected, just like Siege. I find the series this is no spoilers. I find the series incredibly boring, and that's my biggest problem with it, and it amplifies everything else. But I was thinking, guys, when we were talking about this in pre-show, do you think? I honestly think if there was more oomph and passion and better sound mixing, that it might be. I might enjoy it more. It's just the way I described it. It feels so passionless that it has to be intentional, and it's almost like any passion is extracted from it frame by frame as it's being produced.
I think budget constraints may have also been an issue because, like, every time you see like the Autobots running away, they don't transform and drive away. They physically run, and I'm like, it would be so much quicker for them to just transform and drive because they can go fast.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, once you have the models and everything done, I don't know if it costs that much more to do anything with it. My problem with it is just, I mean, I think it looks great. I think it's like 9/10 of where it needs to be really great, potentially. Maybe that's a slight exaggeration. But I think that if they could just inject some excitement into it and maybe more consistency with, like any type of characterization that we've seen in the past with these characters, it might be a little more enjoyable.
I think 2 points I will share on this. One is that I think one of the biggest things hamstringing this is the episode count.
Yes.
Because they are trying to do so much with 6 22-minute episodes. It was 6 episodes, right?
Mm-hmm.
6 22-minute episodes. They're trying to do like a 13 or maybe even 20 episode seasons worth of content in 6 22-minute episodes, and it's causing it to have to be boiled down to basically just the bullet points of the plot with no room to expand that and actually, flesh out the story they're trying to tell in between those points. The other thing is, and this may be a product of how it's structured and paced, I just don't think the series is made with me in mind.
Yeah, me too. So I've had a couple friends who reviewed it, try to talk me down from it and try to make me, see the light. And one of them said, basically, this is for the person who watched Transformers the movie, like 100 times over the course of their life and nothing else Transformers related. But that's not me. So
yeah, you just did that over the course of one summer.
Yeah, I did that over the course of one summer. Exactly right.
Like, in a way, I think Siege actually kind of came across a little bit better because the story was, I want to say, smaller and a little bit more tightly focused. It wasn't trying to do as many things as Earthrise is doing. If Earthrise had maybe even just 4 more episodes to expand some of this out into and actually let some of these processes develop a little bit more, there would have been some interesting things going along here. They just did not have the time or space to actually dig in and take advantage of some of the ideas they came up with. To me, that's the biggest hurt factor of Earthrise.
Yeah. We might, honestly, let's not even bother. We're not reviewing it on this episode. I think none of us are in the mindset to do it. But once Kingdom is done, we should do a postmortem on the whole thing. Yeah, on the whole thing.
That just implies I'd have to rewatch the whole thing.
It's not that long.
I guess, 6 months from now, I might feel less not inclined to do that.
I just want to say I enjoyed it. It's not perfect. I personally think they did a better job than they did with Siege. And it is getting better and better. So I do have hopes that Kingdom will be decent.
I just can't imagine a non-mainframe adaptation of Beast Wars.
Well, I can set aside the mainframe part because, animation studios change and everything.
That's true.
And while this may not be the best computer animation studio they would have access to, I guess for the money it is, but if they went with the people that did Transformers Prime and Robots in Disguise and Cyberverse, which, it's 3 different styles, but it was all the same studio, and, they were really good at animating Transformers, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That part would be fine. My problem would be Beast Wars not performed by the Ocean Group.
Yeah, I mean,
because the characters are the voices of the characters.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Without those voices, it's just an imitation. Literally.
Yeah.
No, I have trepidation, I'll say, toward Kingdom just because of that Beast Wars link. but I'm also curious to see what they're going to do with that part of the setting. So
it's not that these series are the cost of having good toys, because it doesn't work that way. But the toys from Earthrise and Kingdom have been great, so it doesn't impact my love of those toy lines.
No.
Where in the past, when the toy line, when the media existed to sell the toy line, that really might have an impact on my general feeling of a toy line. This is, I don't understand why these series even exist, to be honest. So, it doesn't impact my love of, say, the Earthrise toy line or whatever.
You know why these series exist? Because we kept asking for a series.
Right. I didn't. I didn't ask that. I don't need it.
I enjoy it. I'm glad it's there.
I would rather have a toy line that was, or the series designed sort of in concert with the toy line, where there's some synergy, and you're trying to sell the toy line based on the series. This just feels off. So, but.
And the weird thing is too, like, in one sense, this is like classic Transformers media, where it's made after all the design work and ideas for the toy line are locked in and in production, and it has to follow along with that. But like, it doesn't feel anything like stuff like Beast Wars or even G1 did in that way.
Nessa saying make Transformers just like Bridgerton, I don't know what that is, or Cobra Kai, and that is the correct answer. Go balls to the wall. I think that's what you have to do.
I want them to let George Kirstick just have free reign on a Transformers series and just make Transformers Megas XLR.
Hey,
yes.
Do it.
Even if it's just like, 3 or 5 episodes and it only happens one time. Just like, let me live in the world where that exists for just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Any other thoughts before we move on?
No, but my idea is popular in the Discord. Yeah. Someone's already screaming assent.
Cool. Okay. Hey, let's jump to what we got this week. Who wants, Chris? You go first.
Okay. So, you might have seen on Twitter, I went to Aldi and they finally marked down their Earthrise stuff. Unfortunately, all they had was 2 Arcees, so unfortunately, I own an Arcee now.
How much was it?
13. Yeah, it's a little bit more than I actually wanted to spend on it, but it's also not 20, so...
Yeah.
No, Arcee's okay for that price.
I don't know if it's ever going to even get opened, because I have the Paradron Medic, so, like, I'm familiar with the mold.
If it was the Kingdom packaging, I could more justify it.
Yeah, but I think, like, that's going to take longer to go on discount.
Yeah.
Thanks to John DeLuna, I have Thrust, which is going to be my final Earthrise toy, I think. Which is funny that I got after most of Kingdom Wave 1.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you for sending that along, John.
Mm-hmm.
From GameStop, it was slightly delayed, but not quite as much as Cyclonus was. I have Kingdom Megatron.
What do you think?
It's definitely a thing. There's some things I don't like about it.
Soft plastic.
The soft plastic is weird and a little uncomfortable, and I'm finding various spots where the pegs are trying to pull out of the solid plastic underlayment. Also, I don't like around the neck, where there's no way to really get all the panels flush that I can find.
We're rated PG-13. I don't want to say what it reminds me of, but it...
I mean, I can imagine.
Yeah.
So, just imagine I got that reference.
Yeah.
I don't like that the tail weapon is permanently a part of the left arm when it should be removable. Like, just by how the design works, it should be a removable part. The transformation, like, I see what some of you were talking about with the hips being a little bit scary. Like, that's a really tight hinge joint. But, getting the right leverage on it made it feel a lot less like I was breaking something in half. So that was good. And, like, my experience with Masterpiece Beast Wars Megatron was oh damn, I'm going to break this thing anytime I try to transform it from all these little tabs and like hinges that require a hydraulic press to actually actuate. This only has the hips as a feeling of like needing extreme amounts of force to actually move that, and that material feels solid enough. I'm not really worried about a breakage. So like on that score, it's at least a better experience in hand. It is big and it's got good weight to it. Like it's pretty dense and hefty in the hand. And you know, most of the leaders in the past year or so being Voyagers with some add-ons. It's nice to get something that's like all one solid piece and actually feels like a bigger toy again. You know, I could definitely do with some of the parts fitting being a little bit tighter. There's a lot of gaps and seams in the beast mode that don't all need to necessarily be there. The tail is the worst example because like they've put a joint in here so you can wag its tail a little bit, and I'd be just as happy having a fixed straight tail and have all that you know, line up with dinosaur skin texture.
There's a leak that we didn't talk about where that the suggestion is that could be repainted as a Jurassic Park character or T-Rex.
Yeah, the T-Rex from Jurassic Park.
What do you think about that?
I mean, the way the head looks, I could kind of see it.
Yeah.
And the head's an interesting thing because, like, I remember this is something that John specifically brought up when we were first seeing the pictures of this Megatron. Like, no, it does not look like Megatron specifically looked in Beast Wars.
No.
But at the same time, I can see Megatron in this dinosaur face. Like, it's a different take, but I still feel like they got the personality and how they designed the face. So, like, I'm still actually really satisfied with that. It's realistic, but it still looks like Megatron's facial expression. I can't explain it any more clearly than that, but it works for me for what they did.
And just one more thing about that. Somebody had pointed out that Mattel has the JP license now, but you know, Leonard has the Top Gun license, but they were able to do the Transformers Cross, you know, Top Gun. Who knows what those licensing agreements look like? So I wouldn't let that. I wouldn't let that get in the way of believing or not believing that line. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know how much stock I put in all that leak, but like, there's some interesting suggestions in that, I guess I'll say.
Yeah.
I think the biggest thing I don't like about this Megatron is just like some of the color choices are a little bit weird. The robot mode's a lot more grape jelly purple than it should be. You know, in the show, Megatron's robot mode was mostly like darker. There was a lot more black on the torso, and the purple colors were darker. So it's not exactly right for show likeness. And it's another case of like, I really wish Takara was still being Takara because they would actually make us one of these that is colored like the show was.
Yeah.
But you know, the beast mode's posable enough. It's a little bit more posable than the original Beast Wars Megatron T-Rex toy. Like, the head's pretty movable. You end up dislodging panels, but they're not really seated down anyway, so like, there's no big loss there. And I guess, you know, the tail wags if you're into that, but again, I just didn't have it be static and like one contiguous surface. And there's more mobility in the legs too. Like, you can do a little bit more with this. I think the original Beast Wars toy is technically bigger in volume, if not actual plastic mass. But as an update, I can't not like this. Like, you know, they got the spirit of Megatron in ways that matter, and one of my criticisms of 2014 generations tried to do Beast Wars characters was they all felt like soulless color by number attempts. And what I'm getting out of the Beast Wars stuff from Kingdom so far is they're getting it a lot more than that last try.
Even Rhinox.
Rhinox was actually the worst one for me.
I think Rhinox is pretty okay.
They're, like, I guess in a vacuum, Rhinox was okay as a toy-ish, but there was no like spirit of what it was supposed to be in there.
Yeah. Rat Trap was crap.
Rat Trap was terrible. That shouldn't have happened. Waspinator was almost passable, almost. But it's still...
But felt like basically a lateral move from the, 20-year-old Deluxe.
And the problem was I had just bought the Telemocha Waspinator a few months before the Generations one came out, and I think that's a much superior show-accurate Waspinator toy. So, but no, I'm pretty satisfied with how Kingdom is going so far. I'm still waiting to get a chance at Optimus Primal. GameStop has not put that one up yet that I've heard about, and our other source for getting the stuff a little bit early, it's not worth the shipping cost to me to get Primal just by itself. So I'm going to be waiting a little bit on that. But Cheetor was the thing that I felt the most down on, and that was mostly just because of like stressed parts and snap tabs on the first transformation. But there's only up to go from that, and everything else has felt pretty good. So I'm pretty optimistic toward Primal. Optimistic toward Optimus. Huh. I was also able to find the new Cyberverse Deluxes. So I have
Interesting.
I have Prowl.
Ooh.
And Starscream.
Yeah.
Prowl's better than Starscream in the respect of like both modes look good. Starscream's alternate mode looks like this. So
What
the
is
problem
that?
is,
how would you describe that, Chris, to the podcast listeners?
sadness.
It almost looks like a Star Wars ship.
It looks like
Yeah, so that's the thing. I honestly cannot tell if this is supposed to be Starscream's Earth mode jet rendered really badly, or if this is supposed to be the like more Cybertronic form done for the third year Cyberverse toys, also done kind of badly. If it's the more Cybertronic form, it's a little bit more excusable because it's not trying to be something realistic, and I think that might be what it's going for. But it doesn't really like capture what I liked about that design either. So it's definitely a thing. The robot mode's a little bit better. It comes together pretty solidly. It has a surprising degree of articulation, and the plastic on both of these feels pretty good. In terms of plastic, the only complaint I have is that Prowl's is a little bit ape face-like, the white plastic.
Yeah.
But since there is not a lot of sculpted detail in it to start with, that's not a terrible problem. It's supposed to be kind of smooth, flat panels anyway, so you're not really like losing any detail in this. The transformation on Prowl is, the transformation on both of these really, but Prowl has to go a fairly specific way with how the shoulder guns are placed for the vehicle mode. So like there's one right way to do this, and if you don't get it exactly right, you have to basically go back to almost the beginning and start over. So that's not a lot of fun, but when you do get that right, the vehicle mode clips together really solidly. It's a really sturdy little vehicle, and it's really cool looking too. It almost a little bit like RoboCop's car to me.
Oh yeah.
Like the general shape and the angles of it kind of remind me of that.
God, what was the name of the model of car? Something 9000?
It probably was.
I'll look it up.
I think you're thinking of the 6000 SUX, but I don't think RoboCop's car was specifically that.
Oh.
In any case, though, it kind of makes me want to see this painted in silver, like a RoboCop-ish deco put on it.
There's an Auto Week document on all of RoboCop's cars, and one of them was a Ford Taurus. So, never mind. I'll shut up now.
No, I vaguely remember that being the case. I was just thinking, like, yes, the Ford Taurus, the most menacing, threatening-looking of all the cars.
And Sean immediately was like, RoboCop's car was a late 80s Ford Taurus. I'm amazed that he beat Rick on that one, though, because Rick is usually the car guy. Sorry. Ooh, Charlotte's Web cross Transformers using Black Arachnia.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Both of the transformations on these toys are surprisingly complex, though. I was transforming them actually for the first time during pre-show and pre-show a little bit, and I did have to use the instructions for both because there was parts that were not like immediately that how anything could actually work.
How's the plastic?
Feels fine. Starscream's feels really good. Prowl's, I was a little worried about Prowl's because I had to kind of squeeze and compress some of the parts to actually get them to snap together finally. But like it does clip together really solidly, and nothing felt like it was deforming or.
Do you have Shockwave? Do you have the deluxe Shockwave?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's the one that I hated so much. I just hope that they never do anything else like that.
I do have Arcee, and I didn't really like how the plastic felt on Arcee, and these feel better than that. So this product year of Cyberverse, at least on these few toys, feels pretty decent. There's a lot of clear plastic on this, but none of it is like super vitally structural.
It does.
It's not like the clear plastic on clear plastic hinges Arcee had.
Mm-hmm. It does look like Rick, though, actually has a model kit for that Ford Taurus, which I appreciate. Yeah. So
I'm tilting my head because I'm looking at the Discord chat where the picture he posted.
tfradio.net/discord.
It needs to be rotated 90 degrees. Yeah, no, I like these a lot. They have blast effect parts. Starscream comes with this missile launching effect part.
Oh, that's awesome. It's War Machine like.
Now, the one disappointment I have with this is the end is just a 3mm socket. There's not a 5mm peg component to it, so you can only put onto a hard point. You can't fit it into like a cannon barrel or something. I was actually gonna try while I was talking about Megatron to have Megatron breathing missiles while I was holding it up for the camera, but there's no way to get to fit. So sad trombone. I think Not Enough actually makes though an adapter to go from 5mm down to a 3mm peg, and this might be the reason to get one of those. Otherwise, Starscream comes with a couple of just energy blasts, which unfortunately were crammed into the package in such a way that they warped a little bit, but I seem to be able to I think I can get them to straighten back out because they were bent more than this. I've already been able to straighten them to this degree, so I'm optimistic. Prowl comes with a variant of the Datsun rifle, which actually is a pretty nice looking interpretation of it. I kind of like this. It's maybe a little bit smaller than the Earthrise version. Yeah, a little bit, not too much. It looks like a variant version of the weapon, and I kind of dig that too. And then there's these two blast effects, which can either attach one of them to the rifle or both to the shoulder guns. And then one off-topic thing I got when I was at Walmart getting those Cyberverse Deluxes, I went over to the clearance aisle, and I found the Hasbro Lightning Collection Power Morpher set for $25.
Are those just like coins, or do they do anything?
No, it's the Morpher.
I don't know Power Rangers.
The Morpher is the main thing. They've got the coins on display here, and I think depending which coin you put in, the sounds and lights change.
Ooh.
Yes.
They're like cyber keys.
Sort of, yeah.
Now you're speaking my language.
This originally retails for $50, so getting it for $25 is pretty decent discount.
I love that our Discord conversation has moved over to Twitter now, and Blade is still doing the crossover stuff. Cheetos Cheetos cross Transformers using Cheetor.
Jared, as in Megatron spitting out the missiles from his mouth. Yes, that was my intent.
Nice.
That's what I meant by breathing missiles.
Okay, you want me to go now?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay, I'm excited.
What in the heck has he got?
Thanks to John DeLuna for thrusting me.
Am I the only one who opened it?
I
didn't have time.
They say time is the fire.
Is the fire in which we burn. I watched Star Trek Generations recently.
The one thing, now you guys may remember, I don't. This Cybertron villains line, is this the only figure we've gotten in this line?
No, the Thundercracker and Skywarp 2-pack had that on it, and the clones from Target had that.
Okay.
So Target's Earthrise exclusives were all Cybertron villains because it was all Decepticon.
I didn't even notice that.
I don't think they printed that on Runabout packaging, but I don't remember where Runabout's box got to. So is this it?
But definitely big thank you to John.
John's awesome.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, it's not on Runabout's packaging, which kind of makes me suspect this was not originally planned to be Target's exclusive.
Or they forgot.
Yeah, one way or the other. I would more think like that was going to be in a retail assortment, and then it just kind of had to go somewhere else.
Yeah, it could easily go either way. We've seen instances, though, when they had like some sort of design thing in place, and they literally just forgot to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing I got were the Wave 1 Deluxes from Entertainment Earth. They finally came in.
Sweet.
I got Cheetor, I'm scared to open him because I saw what happened to Chris's.
Oh.
So the tab that broke on mine immediately is not vital for either mode to hold together correctly. So like, don't worry too much about that.
I got little Warpath who looks, I don't know, he just looks so small in the window. Like, I'm sure he's not going to be as small once I get him out of the box.
He's pretty small. But he's a great toy.
He's fine though.
Yeah, I like him.
Black Arachnia.
I love Black Arachnia.
Black Arachnia is small.
I'm so excited to open her up. And then, of course, Paleotrax, which this is my second one. So whatever.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, I forgot you got one already.
I also, like Chris, got Megatron from GameStop.
Mm-hmm.
And Cyclonus, which I ordered first, and it came after Megatron. So, but I also ordered a couple other things with Cyclonus.
An American Tail Rat Trap goes west.
Blade Runner's
I
having
got
much fun with this.
the 2 Target exclusive Transformers Pops, which is Starscream and Bumblebee.
Do you have to order them online, or were they in store?
One I had to order online. One was sold out online, and the other one that was sold out online I had to find in the store, which was, I believe, the Bumblebee is the one that was sold out online. That I had to find in the store.
I don't know what I would do if I actually encountered one in store. Like, I know part of me would actually buy it, but I don't know. I just hate Pop so much.
Then I also got Megatron and the GameStop Soundwave, because there's regular Soundwave and then there's the GameStop exclusive Soundwave. So
okay, I changed my mind. I would not buy any of those.
Yeah,
there's no way.
The only difference on the GameStop exclusive Soundwave is he has the broken tape deck clear.
Yeah, screw that.
Window. And of course, I showed Optimus Prime last week. So yeah, deep into Pops. The only other one I got from GameStop that came with Cyclonus It came badly damaged. Like, it's torn and it's crushed, and of course it's Jazz. So I'm debating whether I should open Jazz up and just.
It's gonna not. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Crushed and torn. It's movie Jazz.
Yeah.
Which don't. Never mind. That's
yeah, and the one thing that I'm still missing, shipped on December 2nd. My Sandstorm, G2 Sandstorm from Entertainment Earth, has still not shown up.
No, they printed your shipping label on December 2nd. It did not ship on December 2nd.
Okay. Well, either way, the last update was December 25th, and then it vanished. So hopefully someone enjoyed that for Christmas.
Great.
But yeah, that's all I got this week.
Who's next?
And didn't get, as it happens.
Yeah, and didn't get.
Who's next?
I guess I can.
Yeah.
Mind if I go next, Don?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Well, for Christmas, I got Trailbreaker from Angel, which is a really nice figure. I don't know why the addition of a truck cap makes it feel as different as it does from Hoist, but it feels different enough from Hoist that I'm fairly happy with it. Arm thing still not sold on, but otherwise it's a pretty nice figure. Also, speaking of things that were shipped a good while ago, I got today I got from John Runabout, which was shipped on December the 4th via priority mail 2-day shipping, and got here today on December the 30th.
Yeah, that sounds right.
John, are you working for Entertainment Earth?
very funny. No, my stuff like delivers eventually. So clearly not.
That is yet to be seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Runabout is a pretty nice figure. I messed with it a little bit. I like the transformation. Having a little bit of trouble getting everything quite locked down in vehicle mode, but I think that's on me as much as anything. Just one of those things where I think minute adjustment of like the shoulder joints and things will improve the way things sit if I go back to it. I also got Beast Wars Megatron through GameStop, and I did not have the experience of handling a Masterpiece Megatron, so the hips were a little bit terrifying to me at first. I'm right now they're less terrifying and more pinchy, but I really cannot transform this figure yet without my thumbs hurting. The one thing I do want to warn people about is that the little rectangular panels that cover the hinges on the tail can get folded up underneath the panels when you convert it to robot mode. So you can actually end up creasing the soft plastic. So just be careful and make sure you've got that exactly right when you transform it. Just be extra careful with that, because I did get a minor like bend on that is coming out with time, but still just not happy to have that happen.
I like the concept, I guess, behind putting that soft plastic on Megatron to actually, feel like, I think they called it dinosaur leather at one point. In practice, I kind of wish they hadn't.
I agree.
Yeah.
But overall, actually, just looking at the way it's collecting, I'm not sure whether that's dust or just pigment leaching out of it in a way I've seen before. It just kind of reminds me of the PVC on MS in Action to a certain degree, which is also notorious for creasing and bending.
Yeah.
Warping. Warping is the word. Yeah, but So, but it's a good figure. I like it. I'm glad I got it, and I a good place to start with Kingdom, I suppose. Other than that, I'll stick to mostly like nerd type things, and not just the more dull Christmas things I got. I also got the first volume of Gundam The Origin, which is the manga retelling of the original series by the original character designer, and those are some really nice hardcover books. I have got to get the rest of that. That is really nice looking, especially the color sections. In addition to everything else, the man is just a tremendous painter. But that is what I got this week.
Cool. Don. Don.
Hey, yeah, I've not had a chance to do a lot of looking around, but when I came in today from that run, I had Megatron from GameStop, and have not literally. He was sitting on the porch like about 5 minutes before I logged in. But I am going to talk about the experience that I had, just so people will know what's going on. Came in. Box was fine. The outer box was fine. I'm not sure if you can tell the damage to the itself, but the box itself is probably
along one side.
Yeah, but the problem I had is that when I had to go in store up there to order it because the website would not let me log in and kept timing out. So I ordered it in store. It shipped. I wasn't going to be down here because it shipped several days before they had estimated it would ship. Went to the FedEx website, tried to redirect it. Couldn't. Called FedEx, asked them to redirect it, but because of restrictions placed on it by GameStop, it could not be redirected. Called GameStop, finally. Agent said they sent a notification over to FedEx that they allowed it to be redirected. Called FedEx, it couldn't be done. Tried to call GameStop, kept getting dropped or cycled through the options and never getting anything past the main menu. I left a note on the door for the FedEx driver to deliver it on Saturday when I knew I would be back. And it just so happens I was back down here today and it was sitting on the doorstep. So, again, first world problems. And I got the figure. It's very frustrating when, if you can't even redirect your package the day it ships, when it's not even close.
Where were you redirecting it from?
Well, I mean, in general, it was still in transit. It had just left.
Yeah, but where was it going to?
It was coming to my apartment, but at the time, I wasn't planning on being here. And there's a Walgreens that is a FedEx hold location about 9 miles up the road.
I didn't know FedEx would redirect. I don't know if anybody will do that.
Well, sometimes you do have the option on the tracking information to change the delivery location.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
and I also saw, Don, this might interest you if you didn't know about this. If you have a delivery go to a Walgreens location, they will apparently give you a $5 Walgreens rewards point bonus for doing that.
Nice.
I did not know that. No, but I couldn't. But what really cheesed me off was the agent said they sent the release to FedEx. Called about an hour later, they said it still couldn't be done.
It's FedEx, so I mean.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, no, they were saying it was GameStop because would not allow it to be redirected.
Okay.
I mean, if it was just an hour later, too, it's possible their system had not caught up to the status change.
But, honestly, though, FedEx does give a lot more requirements that the shipper can do, I think, compared to other shippers. So there's probably some truth to that.
Yeah. It's just very frustrating when it's hard enough to get online, find these things before they're scalped or sold out. Had to go into the store and place the order in store because I couldn't log into the website with full bars, full service, and could not log in. And then not able to even... It's just extremely frustrating that if all these stores are going to step up with the vacuum that Toys R Us left and are trying to carry more of these collectible things, and the customer service experience sucks.
I mean, they know it sucks. That's the business model.
Yeah, I know. It's just very frustrating that.
Hey, Don.
But again, I just wanted to vent about that because it was very frustrating. So if someone else runs into that, they know what's going on.
Super important question from Manny Kara in the chat. How do you order something? How do you order something from the web in a GameStop store?
They order it for you. I went online, saw the page, tried to order it, and the system just would never get past the "I am not a robot" CAPTCHA.
Because you are a robot.
Yeah, apparently I am. Perhaps it hasn't heard of me, I guess.
No, you couldn't answer it right. That's why.
Yeah,
how many school buses did you see? There are 4 school buses.
There was another joke I wanted to make, but you won't let me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, there was no image capture. It was just checking the box. There was no. But anyway, I just wanted to vent about that and let people know what they may run into if they order something. Because when I ordered my Iron Factory Dungeons and Dragons figures, I had absolutely no problem.
Iron Factory?
But, again, Iron Studios. Sorry, Iron Studios. Dungeons and Dragons. Sorry.
Dude, I get it. You're tired. We're all tired. Don, I was going to ask something else. It just completely escaped me.
Anyway, Don, it could be worse. Somebody reached out to me yesterday? Well, sometime in the last couple of days. Because they ordered a Megatron at the same time. I think all of us did, except without having to go in the store to do it. And they still apparently have not even gotten an email saying it's shipped yet. So
yeah, and I mentioned this last week, but I wanted to show it off because I actually have it in here. I did get the Krang.
Nice.
Oh, cool.
The next Krang. Does
it come with the Jelly Krang, the Brain Krang? Yep, right there. Okay, nice.
Yeah. Yep.
And
so
Shredder.
Yeah. I have not been able to find that. I want that thing so bad.
Yeah.
So
Don's holding on to one for me, I think.
Yeah, I just have to get back here.
No,
and get
Don,
settled.
Don, it's fine. I know you got other stuff going on. Get around to it. As soon as
But
you can.
but I don't
feel
plan
pressure.
on buying any more turtle stuff unless they do an Usagi Yojimbo. And again, I have no connection to the character other than I just like the way the character looks because I've got the 2012 Usagi. But yeah, that's all.
Comics sometimes, Don. They're excellent.
And I have original Turtles toy line Space Usagi.
Oh, nice, yeah.
But yeah, that's I've checked a few places locally. Nothing new has turned up. Nothing on clearance. I mean, just it's a wasteland out there. It's post Christmas desolation.
Yeah. Title. Okay, so who else?
Matt?
Who's next? Matt?
Yeah. So we weren't really feeling Christmas around here this year, so didn't get a whole lot. Just basically stuff I didn't feel like spending money on myself, so I had somebody else get them for me. So I got Siege Red Alert.
Nice.
And Earthrise Arcee. So
yay.
What's nice?
I also got a bunch of modulators just because I wanted to make the Abomination of Autobot X thing, so I have that for my shelf now.
Oh, very nice.
Nice.
With my remaining spare weaponizers. And I got Masterpiece Spin Out.
Oh, what do you think?
I've been waiting for quite some time. I mean, I love the Sunstreaker anyway.
Yeah.
And like this is the one I've been wanting since they announced Masterpiece.
I canceled my pre-order because of the glut of pre-orders that hit this past month, so I'm going to need to reorder that one. So, but that is a definite must have to get.
He is absolutely beautiful, and I love him, and probably where I'm going to be stopping with Masterpiece, and
That's
on a
fair.
high note.
Yes.
Unless they do a Black Ironhide or start to get better and more reasonably priced.
Yeah.
So you're going to be stopping.
Yes.
Yes. And got a couple Power Rangers things, too, that I've been waiting on for weeks and weeks. I got the Astronema and Andros 2-pack from In Space.
Nice.
And the face sculpts really are getting better on these. The Astronema doesn't particularly look like the actress, but the Andros isn't bad.
I really hope if they do an accessory pack that they actually do like more Astronomer's wigs, just as part of an accessory pack.
Well, I'm sure she'll get a single release, somewhere down the line where they could do another one. And I got the SPD A Squad versus B Squad blue pack.
Cool.
And the face sculpt on Sky is actually really good too. It comes out way better in person. But I'm generally pretty happy with those, but they really need to work on the details on these things. Because, I mean, you've got teams coming across different waves, and it always seems that they change paint details between the waves. So, whereas SPD Red has the silver line through the helmet, it's white on the Blue Ranger. And kind of like on the Zeo Rangers, 5 has the white lines around his visor, and Blue has the silver line. It's just
different deco artists, I guess. But yeah, they need some oversight to make sure things are unified.
Yes, it's slightly obnoxious.
Isn't that
And
John's job? Now, well, that was before his tenure.
yeah. And I got my Super Mini Claw Max Victory Robo Sigma, the black version of the Max Victory Robo.
That must have set you back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not as bad as you're thinking, but
I'm thinking Super Train territory.
no.
Oh, okay. That's not so bad then.
No. And it gives me something to do over my long holiday weekend.
Cool.
So.
Yes.
And I think that's it for me.
Sweet. John, did you get anything?
No, not really. So in the interest of time, I'll throw the ball back to you.
It's fine. Time's just the fire in which we.
Yeah, if you have something, talk about.
I've never heard that. Never heard that expression. Let's see here. I think the only thing I got, basically, it sounds like, is I got thrust for everybody except
Thank
Matt.
you.
But Matt's is in Maryland. Last I checked, since I get updates on.
Yes, I actually did have a lovely chat with my postal worker yesterday. When I went in to pick up my my super mini block kit, and apparently my area's distributions or sorting center has been absolutely ravaged by
COVID.
Yes.
Oh
yes,
no!
Hundreds of people short.
Oh no!
At this time, and
my neighbor just died from it, and somebody else I know too. It sucks.
Keep that box in the garage for a day or two. Then, I guess.
Yeah, and with the increase in holiday mail and people not traveling, more packages were sent, more letters were sent, more cards were sent. So they've been just treat your postal workers with respect. I understand that it's frustrating not getting your packages on time. I feel the frustration myself.
But there's literally nothing they can do about it.
No, there's nothing they can do about it. They're people. They're stressed out too.
In fact, they're being prevented from doing anything about it.
Yes.
Yeah, and 99.9% of the time they still deliver eventually. So things still make it there.
Show a little respect, show a little courtesy.
For sure. Yeah, the only time that it doesn't make it there is if it sinks in the ocean, like that one ship that was caught in a storm.
Yeah.
And, about 1,000 containers are floating out there somewhere with a bunch of Gokus. Anyway, the only literally, I think it is Goku is one of the things that's in the ocean now. Anyway, so the only thing that I got of interest was a Krang this past weekend. So I did hunt down a Krang. I'm still looking every day, and especially now that the 86 Studio Series stuff is popping up in Target. Spoilers for later in the show. I don't know. I have just yet another reason to check Brickseek every day and then hit targets every day. But I'm still hunting Krangs just for the sport of it. So hopefully I'll find a couple more for the guys on the show. But I did find one, and then that allowed me to pay forward the extra that Don found. And so XV is going to get a hold of that, like he said. And he's really nice. One thing that I think people that are maybe new to NECA or other toy lines that are not Transformers may not realize is that this is one of those toy lines where the figures are effectively 100% painted. And so Run Amok is kind of like an anomaly in Transformers, but in a lot of other toy lines, not so much. And it's just because they can be sticklers for color matching. I'm looking at you, Sunstreaker. But
I feel like, specifically with the NECA Turtle stuff, too, they're probably doing the total paint coverage because they want them to have that matte look so they are more like a three-dimensional animation model. Yeah, for sure. And it does that. It accomplishes that. Mm-hmm. But it can also be one of those things where if you're new to a line like that, it can be weird. Or it can be very different. It's just a different feel and different approach. But he is cool. I do really like him. I appreciate him. He is about the size of, I would say a leader class. I would say, he's probably the size of a leader class Transformer. And he's in scale with the other ones in that line. So he's in scale with a standard 7-inch line. Comes with a completely different Krang, which is appreciated. So if you have Krang from another NECA pack, this is completely different, and he's molded to fit into the android body and put his tentacles around the controls and all that good stuff. Oh, nice.
And so like Don had said, he comes with a gajillion accessories. That's appreciated. One thing that I do find funny is in a lot of videos, in fact, almost most videos, I would say, is that they don't put his antenna into his head. He comes with 2 antennae because they're very small, and thankfully they probably expect you might lose one. So he has a spare. It's the one thing you have to stick on him to finish him out, and it's just funny that just passes people by. They don't realize what that tuning fork is for. So anyway, he's cool.
Or they want to be accurate to their Playmates original Krang's android body where that thing always broke off.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, that broke off instantly.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's great, and I appreciate that. And then thankfully, I am done for the year, which means I'm done for the next like 24 hours looking for NECA stuff. But I'll take it. And then yeah, everything else like for I guess for Christmas, the one thing I got from my parents because they still think I'm 12, and I oblige when they ask me what I want, is the 1989 Batwing Lego set. Yeah,
oh, nice.
So I'll find time in the next first
6
or
months or so.
yeah, the first or second quarter of 2020.
You're going to have to find a lot of time. That's
How many pieces is that?
It's like 3,000 or something like that.
yeah, 3,000 or 3,500 somewhere in there.
That sounds right.
So we're hopefully having our house on the market next week, which means our house should sell next week.
All right.
Because there's literally no houses on the market. I can't. Which once we sell, we'll use that some of the money from that to finish the basement. I am really looking forward to having a Lego nook, like a little corner where I can have all my kits and stuff to put together, and a little table that's just like dedicated to put together Lego stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to have that for my Mega Construct stuff.
Yeah, I mean it would be Lego Mega Constructs. And Creo.
Yeah, no, I mean I know it's not like brand specific. Just like I don't really Lego, but I have several unbuilt Mega Construct stuff because I have nowhere to safely put them once they are built.
Yeah, so I'm super stoked about that.
That's why my Enterprise remains unbuilt to this day.
Yep,
that's why I never bought an Enterprise, even when it was like $60.
My Enterprise, my Terradrome. Castle Grayskull.
I built my Terradrome. I built my Terradrome.
The bridge. Yeah.
I built the bridge.
I need to. So John's done. I'm going to just quickly run through the stuff I have. One thing I wanted to talk about, since it's year end, just interesting thing, but it's about toys I've bought. I was missing one deluxe toy from the Earthrise series. It was Red Alert. Found him finally. Yay. He's Red Alert. John, again, got basically everybody thrust. Thank you, John. Mm-hmm. Very happy. I want basically every single canonical Conehead and Seeker that I can get, so I'm very happy with that. John also got me he got this for Diecast too. Diecast may not have gotten it. The Splinter and Baxter Stockman set. So
yeah, after hearing John talk about that Splinter and me realizing that he's 100% right, I was like, yeah.
What's wrong with
it?
No, a compliment.
Oh yeah, it looks great.
Yeah.
That's still
it's the only cartoon accurate Splinter figure ever. Is what they're referring to.
So, speaking of that, the other thing I got, which I didn't, it's one of those Walmart.com things that popped up that I forgot about. It is the Eastman and Laird's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles comic book collection. So it's a box set.
Neat.
Yeah, it looks like the party wagon, I guess. But it's actually got 6 figures in it. The colorized versions of the Turtles. As well as from the comics, as well as Splinter and Shredder. So yeah,
that's pretty cool.
$40. 40.
Wow.
Yeah, not bad at all. So, that's not getting opened. I don't think.
Well, you barely open anything.
I barely open anything. That's true.
Yeah.
So one thing though, I discovered, and this is going to go somewhere. And this, I don't want to sound. How do I say it? I don't want to sound like I'm overemphasizing my. I'll get to that in a second. One thing though that I found that I really like to use for displaying toys and storing them are these. I think they're Ultra Pro. Yeah, Ultra Pro 50 count 2-piece boxes. They're basically 50 count. Boxes for trading cards, but for things like Micromasters, mini spies and stuff like that, they are just like the perfect size basically. And they're cheap and things that sometimes aren't easy to display. It might be a way to do it. So what I'm going to use once my office is back up and going, what I'm going to display are my 1985 McDonald's Happy Meal toys. And I've bought quite a few more over the last couple months. So out of 24 or 25, and I'll talk more about that in a second, I'm up to 19. So I have like 5-ish left. So, and I'm hesitant to talk about these because the market for them is so small and niche. Like, no joke, whenever I mention them on the podcast, the price goes up the next time they pop up because they pop up so infrequently. But the long and the short of this is, there's not a whole lot of collectors who collect these. And there's not a lot of these. They're pretty rare. But the prices on them aren't astronomical. So it's been a good collectible for me. And I guess one of the reasons I can feel comfortable about talking about this, because since I only have 5 left, I'm going to have to start going to private sales to get the ones I need, because the likelihood that they're going to show up on eBay is limited. But, with that being said, on eBay, I've probably been 75% of the market of these toys for like the last 2 years. So, not private sales, not whatever, but like of the stuff that's sold on eBay for the last 2 years, I'm certainly over 50% of the sales for it. And what I found recently is I've to some extent, either through buying or through mentioning them on the podcast, again, because they show up so infrequently, I've artificially inflated the price of some of these things. So recently some of these have popped up because there's one that, it was one of these, somebody listed it as the rarest of the toys. So instead of paying like $50 a piece for these, I ended up paying, I think it was for the Bumblebee, I ended up paying like $200 for it because it said it was the rarest. And, it's hard to quantify that. I'm like, I'll probably never see it again. Of course, if you look here, I now have dupes of them because a few months later I did see it again.
Huh.
So, but I just noticed these popping up on eBay recently. Somebody had some common ones, and they're still up, that they for $300 each. Like ones that would probably be worth $30 or $35. So, funny enough, the guy who was selling them on eBay popped up on one of the Facebook groups I'm on, and I didn't realize it was the same guy. And he was trying to sell the same ones for $200, I think, $225. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on with the price here. And then I'm like, some crazy person on eBay is trying to sell these for $300. Ones that are worth about $30. And unknowingly, I think I insulted the guy, and I kind of regret that. But I just noticed that, mentioning them, showing them off on Twitter, whatever, maybe a dozen of these show up on eBay in a year. And if one shows up after I mention it, they do tend to go up in price, and it's kind of a damn if you do, damn if you don't thing. But I have like 5 left. So I'm probably just going to have to start seeking out directly people who sell these to get them instead of waiting for them to pop up. And hopefully the people will show me mercy and not charge me like $200 for something.
Well, if you would stop insulting them, Brian.
Yeah. Well, I have all the ones that he was selling. Like, he's trying to sell them for like $200 each. And like they're common ones. I'm like, for the whole lot, I'd pay about $100 for it. So I am half tempted, though, to sell the duplicates that I have for cheap on eBay specifically, to manipulate the price down. So when more pop up, the price is a little deflated, but I don't think that would work. But the thought has crossed my mind. Okay. But yeah, that's just funny. So I'm like 5 away. Somebody on that same group ended up posting his picture of a complete collection. He actually had, I can't remember if it was Brawn or Gears. I think it was Gears. He ended up having one that was not a documented coloration. So it looked like a dye lot variation. So dear God, I don't want to get into dye lot variations on these.
No.
But so...
how different was it?
Noticeably different. It was like the difference between blue Grimlock and turquoise Grimlock.
Or blue Transmetal Optimus Primal and pink Transmetal Optimus Primal, I guess.
Yeah, it was definitely enough where I would say it's a different toy, but I'm 99% sure it was meant to be like the normal blue-yellow version of the toy.
Interesting.
So if I don't count that, I'm 5 away from having the full set.
Interesting and destructive.
Yeah. So I'm probably just going to start hitting up people, asking around to see if I can get those toys. So, hey, but Happy New Year. So that's awesome. That's what's coming up over the weekend. Hopefully you guys aren't getting into anything too crazy, like any, room parties or anything, toy trading.
Don't do that right now.
Yeah, don't do that right now.
Oh, also, John alluded to it briefly, but I wanted to note it more directly since we kind of didn't mention it. Studio Series 86 stuff is in stores in the U.S. now. It's been hitting targets on the West Coast. The Voyagers started being found last week or maybe the week before, and just today or yesterday, the Deluxes also started popping up in Target.
Cool. Okay.
So that stuff's out there now. So hunt safely.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. Let's see here. You can find us on Twitter at TF Radio, on Facebook at facebook.com/TF Radio, and on Instagram at TF Podcast. But you really should just go to tfradio.net. That's where we have everything, including links to our YouTube, and you should subscribe to that. And info on our Roku channel and our Fire TV channel. So I'm personally on Twitter at bkilby and on Instagram at Brian Kilby. And you can find my other podcast stuff at briankilby.com. Let's see here. Rob Springer's not here, but he's at RoboRob Springer on the Twitters and at zonebase.org. Don, how do people get a hold of you? Don.
Hey, I can be reached on Twitter at HMRC, the number 4 EVR.
Excellent. And let's see here. Chris, how do people get a hold of you?
For my toy photography work, you can find that at playwithphotography.com. That's where things like galleries and articles are collected. On social media, you can find that on Instagram at playwithphotography or at playwithphotos on Twitter. I'll post random photos or just, on Twitter, general things relating to toys sometimes. I'm kind of bad about keeping one topic to one account, so it kind of gets spread, but the photos will always be on one of those accounts. If you like the work I do, you can show your support by pitching in on Patreon, patreon.com/playwithphotos. You can do that for as little as $2 per month and get early access to new galleries that I produce. Personally, I'm on Twitter at ChrisRTXV, and I have an Amazon wish list at tfradio.net/ChrisList, and I guess I'll just go ahead and start mentioning my birthday's coming up in about 3 weeks. I'll be old.
You are 35.
No.
36.
No.
37.
Well, I am now.
Okay,
37
okay.
on my birthday, yeah.
Okay.
So Matt's technically right, but I think he was trying to name my age on my birthday, so he was wrong.
Yeah, cool. Rob.
Okay, I am on Twitter at Figure Reviewers and Rob Flails. Mostly toy stuff on Figure Reviewers, as the name would imply, and mostly gaming stuff on Rob Flails, though there is overlap. Rob Flails is the Twitter account for Flail Through is my YouTube channel. I cover Gundam Battle Operation 2 primarily for the PlayStation 4 and 5. Free-to-play Gundam game. Just added a bunch of fun stuff from Gundam Sentinel. Thinking we'll get the New Year's update this week, but we'll find out about that in approximately 2 hours. You can see the update on my channel tomorrow morning with details on what's been added and what's been changed. And if you like what I do over there, patreon.com/flailthroughs, you can throw money at me in exchange for requests of specific rounds and what have you. And also, if you'd rather just throw stuff at me, my wish list is still up at tfradio.net/playlist.
Cool. And we have a conversation in the chat about CRTs, and I forgot last week I was going to buy a black and white TV, and I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. Okay. Mentioned John.
That John D everywhere.
Excellent. Diecast.
You can follow me on Twitter at Diecast2. You can like my Facebook page at Reviews by Diecast. And you can see all my reviews at tfradio.net/reviews.
Excellent. And I want to thank all of our patrons out there, but of course, folks at the touch tier we mention every week, and you're also listed at tfradio.net/credits. So thank you to Kevin Dorsey, Peter Giannakopoulos, Sean Bratton, Jacob Owen Lucia, Jason W. Rye, Sean Hamilton, Mike Mallory, Jason Hiley, Jonathan James, Hector Bones, Nathan Sampy, Spider Bob, Rabbits, Emmett Sresovich, Gaming Fix, Joey Russell, Ryan Bona, and Ness. And all of these folks here are eligible to be on our weekly History on the Fives Patreon exclusive podcast. And someday I would be entirely fine if all of these folks were on every week. And you can be a patron too by going to patreon.com/tfradio. Help us out. We really need it. That would be wonderful. Okay, I think that's it. It's late. I'm about to break curfew. So we'll see you next week. Yeah, I know. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Don, tell me about this 13-inch CRT. Don, you muted.
Yeah. It's we were going to give it to Goodwill, and they can't take it because it's old. It's just cable ready with audio and mono.
Who made it?
Jacks. I don't even know.
Nothing that matters.
I brought it down today to put in the building because Goodwill wouldn't take it.
I'll take it
because it was too old.
Don, at some point. But the thing is, I don't know when I'll be up there to get it from you, and shipping on that wouldn't be fun.
Oh no. When are you coming back up for your home office?
He just said he didn't know.
Oh, I thought I wasn't thinking
For work. I don't.
Work.
Yeah, Don's right. My office is actually in Virginia. I just haven't been there in over a year.
Yeah, right. But I mean, did you plan on going to Greensboro anytime soon?
I could do that. I could do that.
Okay. Well, I'll try to figure out.
Let's aim for some time in January. Maybe meet up in Greensboro, get lunch or something. I would love that.
Okay.
You can meet up and have lunch for my birthday.
Yes, you're exactly right. Don and I live close enough together where it's a shame that we don't see each other more often.
All right. I've got a doctor's appointment next Thursday, but generally any Thursday I should be free because that's my one set day off.
Okay. I don't have it off, but I could. I vacation restarts in 2 days, so.
Okay.
So I have a couple 19-inch CRTs, but I just like them.
Yeah.
I like TV, so I can figure out something.
Yeah. Well, I figured if you wanted to meet down there, because we could go to Acme.
Oh yeah, that'd be great.
Or Acme or Sailfish over there.
There's a Greensboro Sailfish.
Yeah.
Ed McKay's. Or McKay's. We can get a McKay's.
McKay's as well. Yeah. Are we still streaming?
Yeah, we're streaming. But we're gonna have to stop because I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah.
So, hey, people watching live, I literally do have to go break curfew. So I will be back. We'll be back next week. Actually, no, remember, next week, patron live stream, patreon.com/tfradio. I'll be tweeting it out starting tomorrow. But if you want to watch live, the 2020 review show should pop up the same time the live stream would have, which is what we do every year. So
yeah.
But if you want to chat with us and watch along, it's going to be for patrons only, patreon.com/tfradio. Come with questions, comments, what the hell ever. Sweet. Catch you guys later.